Good morning, everyone. Today is March 28th, 2022. I am James Mason, and this is StockCast. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you are listening in live right now, go ahead and drop your tickers in the comments, but be sure to tell why you're watching them, okay? That is critical here. If you haven't yet, also make sure that you hit that like button. So let's start off with what is the market doing so far this morning? The Dow futures are currently down 40 points. S&P 500 is down 4.5 points. And while the market is looking a little weak, and let me share my chart with y'all. While the market is looking a little weak, it's kind of expected. We've been on this bullish run right here where the Fed literally bottomed it out again. And why not go bullish? Because they raised the rates. So I wouldn't be surprised. And I said this the other day. I can't remember which day it was. It might have been this day. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing cool off a little bit more. You kind of see it consolidate right here before making its next leg upward. And that is all in the context of if we don't have something crazy that happens in the market, that just crushes it. So if you're going to swing contracts, just be careful. Make sure you have time, and smaller position sizes will pay off in the long run. And the reason why we always say that is because if you get in a bind and you need to average down, you'll have the funds to be able to do it later on. So that's just a quick rundown of the general market. And I do want to point out notable open interest changes for March 28th. So Friday's total option volume was 44.3 million contracts, which resulted in a net open interest growth of 5.21 million calls and 4.59 million puts. Apple, Tilray, Sundial Growers, and Energy Transfer saw the greatest growth. So for those who are interested in those large caps that have those notable open interest changes, those may be your tickers to watch. So hold on a second. All right. So if y'all remember last week, we spoke about ticker Kxin, I'm sorry. And, I kind of threw out my ranges and whatnot here. And, we can see that pre-market, it's pushing up again. The reason why it's pushing up again is because there is an intent to buy an additional 20,000 vehicles from them. Now, if y'all remember, you remember me saying that I do feel like this company does have a great potential, especially at that PPS value. And here we are. It is pushing up nicely. Now, we do have to keep in mind that is only intent. Chances are it will likely go through, but you can't 100% hold your breath on these type of deals. The slightest thing can ruin a deal like that without an issue at all. So it kind of goes into one of those things, buy the rumor, sell the news type of deals. But I do feel like this thing really hasn't even began to run. Now, let me go back here to the daily chart. Let's see. Now, they do have 143, we'll round it up to 143.5 million shares outstanding in the market, which for an EV company, and I stated this last week, for an EV company, that is not a bad share structure whatsoever. I do believe in this company. We also have seen this ticker run in the past. It skyrocketed back here. Now, do I think it's going to run all the way up there again? Probably not for a long while, but I do feel like we are in the range, and especially with some of the moves that they're making as a company and these orders that are coming in, that this thing might start building up some bullish steam here, just as long as the market doesn't come in and kill it off. That's pretty much what we're at the mercy of for anything nowadays, honestly. So again, that was just a quick recap on ticker KXIN. And to kind of reiterate what I was saying last week about, my favorite EV stock at this point would be ticker CENN. I do have more faith in them, being that they are more established. But still, nonetheless, I do feel positive about this ticker overall, KXIN. So let's see. Oh, to announce the rumors about Tesla. So apparently, well, not apparently, it's actually going to happen. It's actually not a rumor, but Elon Musk and his board decided to propose during his next shareholder meeting, I believe it's next month, that they want to do a stock split in the form of a dividend. I mean, for whatever that's worth. Me personally, I don't have no interest trading Tesla just because of the PPS value. And even if they do another stock split, I mean, hell, it's still pretty expensive. I've always hated the premiums with Tesla, but I mean, can't go wrong with being in love with Elon Musk. So, I just felt like addressing that. I saw a couple people talking about that already this morning. So let me run through the comments really quick. Saw a couple tickers thrown out on here. See, Rhinestall, ticker RIVN might be bottoming out. Let's take a look at that. It's been a while since I had this stock. You know what? It actually does have a bullish divergence on the MACD and technically RSI. So we can see the higher PPS value right here, and then the lower PPS value right here, and then especially with like the MACD. So lower MACD, higher MACD. So this ticker RIVN might be setting up for a bullish play here. Let me pull up some data on it really quickly. All right, so they have 883.4 million shares outstanding, which, I mean, for a company who, hold on, y'all didn't see that. So that was just a ticker alert. For a company who's rubbing shoulders with some of those large automotive companies out there, that's really not too bad. I personally don't care too much for this company. But it really doesn't matter. I mean, I trade crap all the time that I don't like. And it's all about making money. That's why we're here. So I do see this bullish divergence on this chart, on the daily chart. And this thing might make a little push. I mean, there is going to be a resistance right around this $70 range. Right there, I just drew that line for y'all. But I mean, just be prepared that if this thing pulls back, especially if you are swinging contracts, them premiums are going to get absolutely hammered. So that is ticker RIVN. But this thing is probably getting a lot of play because there's actually a decent amount of EV news going on right now. So they're probably just, moving along with the sector. So let's see what else we got. Hold on a second, I'm just running through the comments. Yes, for those who didn't know, we actually opened up the TTBB subscription again last night after, I think we closed it down in like December. Just too many people. I mean, you probably don't hear of too many companies who who turn off the lights when they're getting too much business. But we have bigger projects in play, and that's what we needed to spend that time on focusing with. So we've gotten to a point to where we're ready to make this next run, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's see what else we got. All right, so Josh is saying that ticker TELL, about to build a liquid nitrogen gas plant in Louisiana. All right, that's pretty much all I'm seeing in the comments. I actually do want to take a look at Apple really quickly. Let's see, hold on a second. I want to read my notes real quick again. All right. So let's break it down let's go to the 30-minute chart. Hold on a second. Got way too many lines on here. All right. Yeah. Hold on. Just double checking and making sure this information is correct about this open interest. All right, whatever it is. Yeah, for this thing to have such a significant change in open interest for its calls, and it's quite possibly that it's really people writing contracts, basically institutions. This thing is screaming bearish. So we might see a little bounce here. I mean, we are on this support, and a lot of times when you use this 9 EMA with the 86 EMA, the first time it comes down, it will usually kind of bounce off it, come back up, and then the second time it comes down, that's usually when it gets hammered. So it might be a little too soon to try to go short in this with some puts, but it's definitely in one of those ranges where you should probably take notice, and if it's what you want to do, take notice and start having a plan, start establishing a plan here. Really, lately Apple has been just following the overall market, and with today being, I don't know, with the market really just the Dow Jones kind of just like hovering near zero. I hate those days. Those are usually pretty choppy days since they don't really indicate like much direction. But yeah, Apple might chop around today, hold up some support, or maybe bounce tomorrow-ish. It's really hard to say because I'm obviously not a psychic. But what I'm really wanting to see is I'm okay with missing this play right here because I'd rather get a play that I'm more confident in, and that would be that 9 EMA bouncing off the 86 EMA and then waiting for it to come back down the second time and then nail it with puts, which would probably be, in my opinion, I mean, based off this current setup, somewhere between the range of this 172 and 171 range. But again, I am expecting this bounce, or that's what I'm looking for at least, but a bounce somewhere in here. And then the second time around, that 90 EMA comes down and crosses over. That would be my ideal play for Apple. So let me pull up the comments again. Robert, yes, sir. That was what triggered as an alert on my charts, and I turned it off. Let's see. Billy, let's take a look at ticker HYMC. This ticker, I don't really care for it, but this thing has been pushing up hardcore all morning long. I mean, I just really just been watching it just for shits and giggles, but I mean, hell, we done spoke about this one a couple times over like the last 2 weeks, and this is one of those plays where, you know, if y'all remember, I talk about the first big push up and then it pulls back hard, and then usually that second push up, you know, I start to look for going up halfway, and then I look for the candle beneath it from that halfway point to see what it has done, and then I start taking my profit in that range. But this thing is already on the move. Now I don't see potential to really do much with this. So this thing, I don't know if it's going to crash today, but based off the setup, I don't see it really doing much in the future besides just bleeding off and just overall dying and coming back down. So hold on a second. I'm going to look at Tilray really quickly. All right. Tilray is pullback pre-market here. So obviously I spoke about Tilray many times in the past. Tilray is just one of those companies that I'm long-term bullish on. And you know, this is just one of those plays where, you know, I like to accumulate shares, especially down in these ranges. So Tilray is not really doing much so far today. They did have that push on Friday due to really pot stocks making an overall move based on the vote in the House. And really, you know, the House needs, you know, to do their thing with the vote, and then obviously it's going to go to the Senate, and then who knows how long they'll take with that vote. And heck, knowing our government, they'll kick that can down the road over and over, and it'd probably be a couple years before we actually get marijuana legalized. So let's see what else we got. All right. Looks like I pretty much hit most everybody's comments right in here. I am curious to really watch this open interest. Now, overall, I usually don't really concern myself so much with this, but it was a significant change, and I'm really just going to watch this in terms of not to take a trade, but really so much just to analyze data for the most part. And those significant contracts, well, there's the significant tickers who had the notable changes in open interest, again, are Apple, Tilray, Sundial Growers, and Energy Transfer. So I'm just going to watch those, see what they do today overall. And if I see a play, I might alert it to TTBB members. Actually, I would alert it, but will just depend on overall market and everything else. So, all right, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in today. Remember, trade safe, trade smart. It is Monday. We don't want to mess up our week on the first day. It's kind of just like a Friday. You don't want to have a bad Friday and go into the weekend. But remember, stop losses, smaller position sizes, and in my opinion, that's the greatest way to manage your risk. So thank you for tuning in today, and we will catch y'all in the next one.